you know I don't want to do them for a living.
Well, I did the first roof and it didn't last.
Okay, do we, just a real quick question, do we go into the public hearing first and then set the rules? Or do we talk about the rules before we go into public hearing?
The rules first.
Before we go into public hearing? Okay. All right. All right, I'll call this meeting to order. It's Thursday, 10 o'clock, March 20th, 2025, and we're here to discuss and review and consider Polaris Peak Estates minor subdivision. I have a couple rules and procedures to go through for the public hearing. We have a sign-up sheet and it must be filled out before you can speak, clearly marked whether you are opposed, neutral, or in support. And it looks like everybody, yeah, is that neutral? You got a little N there?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No person shall be permitted to testify or speak before the hearing body at the public hearing unless such person has first signed his name and address indicating whether they are neutral, opposed, or in support. No person shall speak unless they are recognized by the chair. All public hearings proceedings shall be recorded electronically. No person shall interrupt the speaker. Question and answer period. At the conclusion of the speaker's comments, the members of the hearing body may question the speaker, and the speaker shall be limited to answer questions asked. You'll be sworn in. Everybody who is going to speak will be sworn in. Any person not conforming with the rules herein established will be prohibited from speaking. Should any person refuse to comply with such prohibition, he may be removed from the room by order of the presiding officer. The applicant presentation they'll be allowed 20 minutes. Proponents and opponents of the proposal will be allowed 5 minutes each. The witnesses will be allowed 5 minutes. Applicant's submission rebuttal will be allowed 10 minutes. All evidence needs to be turned in. Maps, photographs should be submitted to the staff before the hearing for record. Okay, I would entertain a motion to go into a public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call?
Commissioner Powell?
Here.
Commissioner Zimmerman?
Here?
Commissioner Rose?
Aye.
Okay, we're in a public hearing. Are there any conflicts of interest with the board? I have none. Okay. Staff report.
Okay. I am Trish Brown, planning technician for Shoshone County Planning and Zoning. For the record, I am bringing before you today an application by Timber Ridge Ventures LLC, Polaris Peak Estates 3-lot minor subdivision in the Natural Resource Zone, case number MS-167-25. You should have before you a package of the file, in particular the staff report with the findings of fact, applicable legal standards, draft conclusions of law, draft conditions of approval, and draft motion. We begin with the course of proceedings, which outlines the taking and processing this application and moving forward to get through a public hearing. The process started in December of 2024, taking in and processing the application. And as part of that process, the project went through agency reviews, receiving comments from the subject matter experts of the various agencies. Based on the completed applications and agency response information, the 30-day comment period was established on December 24th, 2024, and ended on Monday, January 27th, 2025. On December 23rd, 2024, the site was posted with physical notices along the vicinity parcel boundaries, and notices were sent via U.S. mail to the adjacent property owners within 300 feet of the subject property as required, and the public hearing was scheduled for today, March 20th, 2025. Reviewing the findings of fact, the applicant representative is Dan Martinson, Landworks Consulting, LLC. Dan is not the administrator on this project and has recused himself. I am the acting administrator for this case. The property owners are Marvin and Sharon Yoder of Timber Ridge Ventures of Moose Mountain Lane in Kingston. The applicant is requesting a minor subdivision for the creation of 3 lots in the natural resource zone. The site is located approximately a mile and a half south on Polaris Peak Road off of Big Creek Road outside Kellogg. The site is described as a portion of Section 10, Township 48 North, Range 3 East. Parcel numbers are 48N 03E 10 8300 and a tax code area of 8350. The zoning of this property and the surrounding zoning, according to the zoning map for Shoshone County, is natural resource. The surrounding uses are mainly rural and timber. The parent parcel is approximately 20.5 assessed acres. The proposed subdivision will comprise of 3 lots varying from 6.6 to 8.1 acres. The preliminary survey work and corrections were completed on this parcel to create the proposed lots. There appears to be a discrepancy between the assessed acres of the parent parcel and the actual surveyed acres of the legal description. The governing, the governing documents deeds will be used to document the actual acres on the final plat. The subdivision code for Shoshone County requires that the minimum lot size for minor subdivision is 2 acres. The minimum lot size requirement in the natural resource zone is 7,700 square feet, and all the proposed lots are designed to meet or exceed both of these requirements. There are no structures on this site, and the current use is rural residential, recreation, and timber production. The terrain characteristics for the proposed site are typical rural forest, and the site varies in topographic relief of 15 to 35%. Site is on the west-facing slope east of Big Creek Road, and the site contains timber with native grasses and bushes. The comprehensive plan designates this area as Central Corridor District, which is rural in nature, but may not have the same pressures for development as other areas of the county. You can refer to the project narrative for additional information. This proposed site is not within the area of city impact for either Kellogg or Osborne. The proposed lots are designed to utilize individual wells for domestic water service. There's currently 1 developed well site upon the proposed lot 1, centrally located on the parent parcel. And preliminary review of the area well logs and hydrologic features demonstrate that there's adequate opportunity exists for development of well sites. Proposed easements are shown on the preliminary plat or other exhibits. All of the proposed lots are designed as rural residential use, and community public waste systems are not available to this site. The proposed subdivision is seeking to have sanitary restrictions lifted on each of the proposed lots. The lot owners will be required to seek final approval of the subsurface septic system through Panhandle prior to future development. In a letter dated October 3rd, 2024, Ryan Johnson with Panhandle Health District outlined the conditions, requirements, and recommendations, along with the applicable plat language for this project to be satisfied before final plat Mylar is signed. And he did caution that the plat approval does not guarantee that these lots are buildable. Shoshone County Fire District 1 provides emergency services in this area. September 25th, 2024 comments from Chief Miller indicate that he had no issues with this road. All fire access road driveways are required to comply with International Fire Code driveway access requirements. The primary access to existing and proposed lots is currently provided by access off Polaris Peak, a public roadway maintained and serviced by Shoshone County Public Works Department. A secondary emergency utility access route is proposed accessing directly onto Big Creek Road. Private common access driveway will provide access across the adjacent private property via non-exclusive easement rights to the subject parent parcel and proposed lots. Existing and proposed future access to each parcel will be provided by individual common driveway. On December 19, 2024, Stephanie Featherstone with the Department of Public Works for Shoshone County advised that the secondary access with the approach onto Big Creek Road will need to be paved to LTAC standards. Stephanie explained while it is the department's judgment that the addition of 2 lots to Polaris Peak Road will not generate enough traffic to warrant any improvements to the existing roadway. She further explained that Polaris Peak Road is a secondary plow route and is maintained Monday through Friday as staffing allows. Stephanie did add comment on February 24, 2025, updating the comments to reflect the required bonding for the paved approach of the secondary access onto Big Creek Road. This parcel is located within the operable Unit 3 of the Bunker Hill Superfund site. December 20th, 2024, Mary Remborg, Program Manager for the PhD's Institutional Controls Program, provided comments indicating that the project is subject to the rules and regulations of PhD's ICP. An ICP permit is required for development and or change of use of this property. Additionally, any contractor performing excavation, grading, infrastructure development, and/or transportation or disposal of contaminants within the ICP administrative area must be licensed by PhD. There is no site disturbance or roof developments proposed. Any future site development will be required to meet site disturbance code regulations. The proposed subdivision will conform to the design standards of the surrounding area, including those outlined in Section 10-3-1 of the Shoshone County Code. This site is not part of the floodplain according to the FEMA firm panel. It is subject not within the special hazard area, so there's no specific notation or provisions on this plat. We have not received any public comment on this project. The applicable legal standards are outlined here, including Idaho and county codes, comprehensive plan, and floodplain overlay district regulations. The staff analysis summarizes that we have met all the requirements for the application and the procedure has been met. The draft conditions approval have been outlined here based on agency comments, including meeting the applicable rules, ordinances, regulations of Shoshone County and state federal agencies. Any further development shall come before Shoshone County Planning Department of the Board of County Commissioners. The applicant shall meet all Shoshone County Public Works requirements, conditions, and concerns, and prior to the recordation of the final plat, the applicant landowner must either pave the secondary approach onto Big Creek Road from the property's second access route or post a $5,000 bond for the paved approach as outlined in Shoshone County Public Works revised comments. Applicant shall meet all requirements to Shoshone County Fire District 1 related to International Fire Code driveway fire access requirements. The applicant shall meet requirements of Panhandle Health District as specified in PC's comment letter and shall place a plat note on the final face there. The applicant shall meet all requirements of the ICP. The terms and conditions of this approval shall run with the land and remain valid upon change of ownership or until the approval expires. The applicant or future assigns having an interest in the subject property shall fully comply with the conditions placed on the approval. This approval is based on the information presented in the project application plans and testimony provided as part of the request, and the approval is limited to that request. All applicable project fees shall be paid for issuance of the final order of decision and recordation of the final plat. Applicant shall meet the requirements of the final plat subdivision application procedures as specified in Shoshone County Code Title 10-5-4. The approval shall expire 24 months from the signing of the date of the order of decision unless the extension is applied for and granted by the Board of County Commissioners. The draft conclusions of law are established conclusions based from our code and for your review and consideration and determination. If you should disagree with any of these items, we will need to know why so we can note it accordingly. The draft motion has been added to approve with conditions. That is all as I have for a staff report, and Dan is here if you have any questions for him on this project.
All right. Applicant.
For the record, I am Dan Martinson, the representative of Marvin and Sharon Yoder. My company is Landworks Consulting. As a formal recusal, we've done it since the inception of this application, but on the record we'll show that I am the applicant's representative rather than the administrator. So much of everything Trish had to say there that we put into the staff report is in there for the record. It is part of the proposal that we put together. I don't have anything particularly to add to the complexity of it. We went through all the processes. We've developed a project that meets the requirements, and are certainly accepting of all of the agency requirements, in particular the public works access requirements. We will be requesting approval with conditions to be met prior to recording of the plat, and then the applicant is wanting to pave that approach as soon as weather is available, as soon as there's asphalt available. So that hopefully will be in the coming weeks. If not, then if it's going to be any length of time, certainly we'll be on hold to get the recording done, and until that is done, or we'll post the bond to go ahead and get the recording done. But at the moment, the applicant is desiring to move forward with getting the work done prior to signing of the plat. In my narrative, I went through and put it together a comprehensive plan designation and a comprehensive plan analysis. And so That's not normally something we put into depth in our staff report, but I put it into the application so that if there was question about how this subdivision, this application was meeting our comprehensive plan requirements, I've gone through the 4 goals that were listed in the comprehensive plan and submitted an answer for that. We believe we meet those goals, and our project is designed to meet those. Beyond that, I don't have any particular more details to add that's not already in the package, and certainly we stand for questions.
Okay. And we didn't have any written testimony. Okay. Testimony from supporters. And we have no supporters. Well, do you have your client here? No.
The client is not here. I'm here representing him. The hired surveyor is here for any questions particular to the plat.
Okay. All right. Neutral. Damian Kells. Could you please? Should I have sworn you in?
I guess so. Yeah, we not usually have done that, but it is part of the rules, the
Okay.
new rules that come in. So, yeah, sure.
Okay. Did you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth and do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. What is it? Would you help me do that? Go ahead and stand up. I'll have Melissa swear you in.
No, we'll have
Probably.
Dave.
Okay, Dave. What's swear
I
you in?
swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I do.
So I have some pictures here for the county commissioners. There's 3 in each stack.
Okay.
And if you could pass those amongst each other. That was as of yesterday. Yeah, my name's Damian Cowles. I live in Big Creek. As a Big Creek resident, I'm not opposed. 4-4, I'm neutral. I've been coming from a project management background of 20 plus years, moving millions of cubic yards of soil in the mountains everywhere. The pictures that you have, the first one indicates that the road is filled. This is when you're coming up Polaris Peak Road, there's a breaking point. You're coming up at an elevation or a grade, and you cannot see the road until you enter the road, because the gravel road that you see is going down in a slope. It appears that there's no geotextile fabric under the road. The road is built on clay. It's just a gravel surface, basically, that was put over that. You can see in the picture that the road is starting to already deteriorate and break free from the original road plane that was there. Over the past 20 years, I've been on this road hundreds of times hunting, so I know the road well. It's about a 12-foot wide road, and anything other than that has been filled with grubbing the road, grubbing the vegetative surface off, and pushing it over the bank. The other picture is the road that comes down onto Big Creek Road. It appears that road is about a 22 or 23%, and it doesn't have any drainage in place, which I'm guessing you need a 4-wheel drive right now to get on it, or go down it, being that it's built on clay, slick. And I just want to state that roads like these have gone by the wayside in getting approved by the county. Upper Page has had problems. It's built on similar materials, clay. The Drummond Peak Road up French Gulch is absolutely atrocious to drive up in the wintertime. It's kind of a similar type road built on clay. It's settled out. It's at an 8%. This road going into the property is clearly right now at about a 3%, I would say, by visual. I don't know in lot 3 of your guys' map, there's a call out that says the existing road is 30 feet wide, 50 feet side of center. That road is actually about 12 feet wide currently. But I thought that call out should have said proposed road. But it does not, it says existing. In the ICC table on section D 103.4 requires a certain road width and turnarounds for a specified distance of road. This road is well over the 750 feet that takes a special requirement or a special determination. I don't know what that determination would be. I don't know how multiple fire trucks, if they were to enter the property, would turn around. They evidently can't go down through the site because it's too much of a grade and the materials are not suitable for a fire truck to go down through. I think the cart is getting put before the horse. I think on all my projects, of course, everything's engineered, all the roads. And all the roads are well established ahead of time before we even move on to a project. I don't know what the road width requirements are, whether it's 20 feet, 26 feet. Like I said, that all depends on the distance according to ICC. I'm guessing the average road width in there is probably anywhere from 18 feet, roughly, to 20 feet. So those are just my concerns from a professional background. And right now, I would not drive a fire truck on that road just because there's no drainage, there's no culverts. I don't know if there was a disturbance permit for this when all this happened, but currently there's no BMPs in place. There's no silt fence, straw wattles. There's no BFM sprayed on where they took the power and the gas up from Bay Creek Road. That's just my findings from driving by the site and looking at it. So.
All right, thank you. Matt Beener? Would you?
I better swear.
Yep. You swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I signed up neutral. I don't care if somebody builds up there. It doesn't matter to me. But I do care about county assets and county employees. And as Damien said, there is no turnaround on that map. So evidently you're going to have to back a fire truck out. And that spooks me. Put a 20-year-old kid on a fire truck that costs $750,000 and he's backing up a 20-foot road for 300-400 feet. Bad things will happen. I want some clarification too, that actually on the GIS map, it shows Fire District 2 as that area. I don't believe Fire District 1 can put the burden on Fire District 2 to service that area if they haven't seen it. And the other part of that too is if you guys run the ambulance service and the ambulances are the ambulance services property. I've never seen a document where you have given the fire district the right to go out and say that our ambulances can go down this road. It's not in their contractors. So the turnaround, there is no turnarounds. The grade on that other road, the emergency access is 22-23%. It's about 12 feet wide. There's no stinking way that that should ever be used by our county vehicles. I believe lookout the most is 12%. Double that. That's what you're going down on a dirt. You ever tried to go up that in a full fire truck? You're looking for nothing but trouble. So if it's just for the people to come down, that's one thing. That it's not county property. We don't. But to go down with an emergency vehicle, like Damien said, it's 4-wheel drive. So make sure I do everything. no turnarounds, lower road not to be used, fire district can't be located for the outlets. All right, that's it, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, Kirk Cove. Do you have nothing?
No.
John, is it Grismer?
Yeah.
Nothing? Okay. Okay. The applicant can rebuttal. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you. Dan Martinson again, and I appreciate the comments, and certainly I'll hope to address those concerns here. So definitely, I'll start with the stormwater plan for the property was achieved through a notice of compliance for logging on the property as they did the logging project. There was some cleanup done to this upper end where it approaches onto Polaris Peak Road, and that work was done at the tail end of the season last year, and we did notice the separation cracking happening. Material was moved and set and keyed in and then rip-wrapped on the outside. There is some failure happening, so there will be some additional work there and potentially some dig out and some geotechnical fabric will need to be put in there as a maintenance of that road. So certainly that's understood that that's always going to be a case for the applicant to maintain that road and maintain the stability of that road. That access road going in from Polaris Peak Road was widened to the 18 to 20 feet. Some of the grades were taken out, and to make it acceptable to the fire district. The fire district and the ambulance service district have a joint venture MOU to comment on each other's cases, and certainly our fire chiefs do assess these requirements as both the ambulance service district and the fire district. In this case, the fire district took their Type 1 fire truck and went up there and drove the roads, including the access road to the back. The applicant, through his process of logging, has used that rear access road numerous times with dump trucks, loaded dump trucks and stuff. It is a well-gravelled road. The very bottom of it has some ongoing work to do, and they'll be doing that when they do finish the approach. They'll be finishing up the graveling and the stormwater maintenance of that access road. Because it's an access road, it does not have to meet the grade requirements. It has to meet the approval of the fire district, and they have approved it. So there's no required improvements to it. Certainly there could be some grade taken out of it if the fire district and even the service district desire to, but it is an accessible road. I've driven it with my vehicle, and it got up it just fine. And so the driveways all going into the proposed lots were all developed with the minimum width standards of 14 feet and have been well gravelled. And upon the property itself, there are stormwater ditches and a plan for conveying the stormwater. Note on the plat was 30 feet. That note on the plat is a 30-foot easement. The road is listed as it is 12 feet wide, but the easement is 30 feet. So it's not claiming that the road is 30 feet wide. It's claiming that the easement for the road is 30 feet wide for additional development if ever need to be. As far as stormwater for utilities going up the site, that's a responsibility of the utility installation. If they've not done something to cover up the track, we'll certainly address that with the applicant. And certainly we don't want any. It is the applicant's responsibility to control stormwater off his property. So if there's bare soil or something, we can certainly address that to get some mulch or some appropriate stormwater plan on it. Other than that, the ambulance service district does routinely use, and in fact, because it's a split on Big Creek Road, we addressed it from both Scott Dietrich and John Miller. And John Miller was the one that responded to the site and reviewed the site with vehicles. So, other than that, I don't have anything else to address unless you have some particular questions you'd like me to address based on those comments.
So there's two entrances to the property, right?
Correct.
Show me where the...
So here's a picture map of it. Go up Polaris Peak Road.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I? Backwards. Come in up here,
Mm-hmm.
and then this road comes in across here, and then right here would be this spot right there. So from here, they're common driveways. So you come in off Polaris Peak Road,
Mm-hmm.
and then you travel down this road to get there. The access road is after you go down to the bottom of lot 3, it follows down and comes out the bottom
Okay, now is
This road here
this
comes out the bottom.
this is the main
The
part?
main way in
Main
will
way
be the
in.
daily way in and out. This will be for utility access or emergency access.
Okay,
For either
utility
vehicles to
access.
get out or vehicles to get up.
Okay. So, or would this be also emergency access for fire trucks?
Yes, yes, and there's widenings of area, and there's the potential driveways to get in and out, and then further development of each lot will have, there's pads created in there
Mm-hmm.
that create the turnarounds for future development of building permits.
Okay. So why would they have to? Why would this be an emergency access? That's what I'm just.
It's a road that existed, and so we developed it in there as a secondary means of access to the property.
Okay.
So we weren't going to obliterate it or not use it, and it is pretty steep on this bottom end. Once you get up to this knoll,
Mhm.
it's 8 or 9%. It's just less than 10% all the way up into here. A little bit lighter up there, but certainly down here. So it was a road that was going to provide access that if there was an issue and this method was blocked, there is a way out.
Okay.
There's also a way in if this area is blocked. So people that live here, if there was an issue and a need to get out, they could go down or they could go out Polaris Peak. So
Okay.
utilize the opportunity that there's an extra road there.
Now, is this where they were going to put in the approach?
This approach here is a very rudimentary and was previously non-permitted. We got the permits for this approach and that permit last fall. And so their condition was down here was to pave their approach off of that because of the joint onto Silver Valley or to Big Creek Road.
Okay. So these pictures here are.
That particular one is the I believe is this road as it turns and comes down onto Big Creek. It's probably standing in the road looking up the driveway.
Okay, and this
And
is.
then this is this access up here,
Okay.
looking down the access. You'd be looking down that way, you're standing on the road looking down. So
Okay, and this is the main access.
correct.
Is there?
It's about 25, 30 feet wide here as you make that turn and approach down. And that was
Okay.
all more material was added on and then grade was taken out of it. Because it used to go off the road and go down much steeper, so the grade was taken out of it. And this, for lack of a better word, this road comes up. This area here was widened.
Okay.
That crack you see is right along here. So there was fill put on the original road, and then additional fill put on the outside to widen it.
Okay. Can they
keyed in.
Can they widen this road even further?
That particular part, it's about 30 plus feet wide right here, so it doesn't need to be widened,
Oh, okay.
but it needs to be protected, and we certainly don't want to see part of it sloughing off. So indeed, there's this part here that's attempting to slough that way.
Okay.
So
I mean, what I'm saying is it being it's sloughed off. That's overcast, right? That's the reason why it's
Correct.
sloughed off. So can they go further this way to prevent the overcast? Is that a
It wouldn't fix the problems. I get what you're trying to see. It's not needed here, but here the fix would be to go dig. What's happening is the fill was placed in there like that,
mm-hmm.
and it was keyed in when it was put in, so to hold, but it's still failed up here.
Mm-hmm.
So you go in and dig it out and either put bigger rock, more solid rock, put geotextile fabric in there, and then put more heavier rock in there, and that'll stabilize that like a retaining wall,
Mhm.
this outer corner. So there will be fixes to be made on that because they want to maintain the road. As it is, even from the crack over, it's 25 plus feet, so it's wider than the requirement. But we want a nice road to be able to turn on. You also want an area when you come up the road. When you come up here, you're coming up at an elevation and then turn to look down Polaris Peak Road. So you want to get level so that you can look both ways. You don't want to be like this. And that's one of the approach requirements for public works is you have to be able to get up and get flat before you come out onto the road. And so that's part of what this was, to widen that bench area. And so that outer skirt is doing that.
So this road now would this be part of the fire code where our new ordinance that shows that?
Because it's not the main access in. If it were the main access in, it would have to be less than 10%, and it would have to be the 20 feet wide.
Okay.
Because it's an alternative access route, it only has to meet the approval of the fire district.
Okay. Now what about this road here?
That one has to meet the standard,
Meet the standard.
not only for the fire district, but for our roads and driveway standard that we have as a county,
Mhm.
and for future building permits. And so it's been widened to 18 to 20 feet, and the grade is less than 10%. So
Okay.
it meets the requirements
Okay.
of the county for future building permits. So
Okay.
yes, this end does, that end
That then doesn't.
doesn't, but it was also approved by the fire district that it was accessible.
Okay. So now, just another question.
Mhm. Why
Would the fire district have to approve a secondary?
They don't.
They don't have to approve it.
It's an amenity.
Okay.
It's a plus. It's
a plus.
It's a nice thing to have in a community where we, certainly in the world where we've experienced lots of fires and you can't get out of the
Second way
neighborhood.
out.
This is a pretty nice thing to have.
Okay. Yeah.
Because not only these property owners, but anybody up here, if there was some reason they couldn't get down Polaris Peak, there's
They
an
can go
there's
that
an
way.
avenue out.
Okay.
And there is turnarounds. There will be turnaround spots.
There are widened areas
Okay.
and turnout spots that were developed into this access road going in, and then each pad has a developed pad that is big enough for building, and then those requirements take place during building permitting, where they go to assess where they can get turned around.
Would you clarify that a little further? There are 3 developed pads already there with utilities?
Or not with utilities, there's a well on site, and then some power has been stretched up into there, and I don't know the power's been stretched to each lot yet.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And didn't they say that it was previously stated that they're not sure if they're even buildable lots?
Panhandle Health puts that wording into their statements that until they approve a septic permit, that they're not affirming that it's buildable, meaning they approve the septic. There has been test holes dug on each site, and each site has been approved for the site.
It's just a caveat they put in on everything, just because they
Okay.
approved the septic doesn't
It's not the
mean,
best wording, but
yeah,
Okay, yeah, 'cause
it's
that
just
kinda
direct.
caught my
on this
attention.
particular one, we've done test hole sites and had 3 sites approved.
Now, is this part of the old dump?
No.
Okay, that's up further.
Near it.
Okay,
Something's
near it.
up above
Okay.
it, behind it.
Okay. Do you have any further questions for Dan?
Not at this time.
These be exhibits.
Okay, do you have any further questions?
That's fine.
Any further concerns or anything like that? Before we close it out of the public hearing? Do they ever, do the commissioners ever go up and look at the property? I mean,
Certainly they can, and I'll speak out of just experience or
Mhm.
not as the administrator. It becomes problematic because of the hearing procedure requirements.
Mhm.
So you can go individually, and obviously you can't talk to anybody, me or any neighbors or anybody for that matter. You could take somebody else as a subject matter expert if you wanted to go take the firemen up there, you wanted to go, those kinds of things. You can talk to the agency people. You just shouldn't be talking to that. So it becomes a little problematic for the hearing,
okay,
preserving the hearing process.
for,
And certainly, but you can schedule it and do it, and or
now, now would that be, that would be kind of a question for legal, would that be where we wouldn't want to close the hearing? Because after we close the hearing, it basically kind of gives us that we can't take any more new evidence or anything else after we close the hearing.
correct. But you can always, if there's something to address, you can always address if there's an issue. I can't present any new evidence. And the public can't present any new evidence.
Okay.
Otherwise, we open it all back up again for discussion. Which, if needed, we can certainly do that. If there's something to continue to discuss, you reopen the public hearing and then give everybody the opportunity to discuss that.
Okay.
So it can be done. It's
Okay.
complicated, but it can be done.
Okay. I guess, we're done with this, so,
I guess I do have one question.
mhm.
With that secondary and the drainage, there's already issues on our county ditch along Big Creek. Is there a culvert placed there to help, cause that's a little worrisome.
So,
That ditch already gets overflowing sometimes.
sure. So we have an active approach permit for that site, and there's no culvert required for that particular side of the road because there's not culverts on that ditch side that I've been made aware of. So the only issue they have is the approach, the paved apron that comes off of Big Creek Road onto the approach. In the process of doing that, we'll gravel that approach to make it more of a construction entrance and handle the stormwater coming down off of that road. Yes, it's a construction road at the moment and has been, and so it doesn't show as well as it should as far as stormwater management, but that will be taking place as part of the approach improvements that Public Works is requiring for the finalization of the plat. So they will look at it when it's all done, and they will give us a letter that says they're approving the approach as being complete, and then we'll admit that condition, and then you'll be able to sign the plat.
Okay.
So we'll meet their requirements, whatever that is. And if there needs to be a culvert put in, then certainly we'll install a culvert.
Okay. All right. If there's no further need for the hearing, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll motion to close the public hearing portion.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Commissioner Powell,
Here.
Commissioner Zimmerman,
Here.
Commissioner Doss.
Aye.
Okay. The public hearing is closed and no further testimony or evidence will be accepted. Each commissioner members, any thoughts or concerns discussion of the application?
I think just one of my biggest concerns is the drainage on the Big Creek
Okay.
ditch. That sounds like Public Works is also looking into that or paying attention to that.
Okay. Anything from you, Commissioner Doss?
I'm still thinking. I don't know that I have any comment at this point.
I would like to give it further time, to make a decision. I'd like to table this until next week so that we can think it over and go through our own process and then come back and make a decision.
I would agree with that.
I'm amenable if that's what you want to do.
Okay. All right.
Do we have a date and time certain? What do you guys want to do that?
You want to do it next Thursday? Do we continue this matter, to table it for decision next Thursday, the 27th at 11 o'clock?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And if there's nothing further, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.